Okay, so we're going to talk about social media and building curiosity. And I think a lot of times what can happen is we tend to just want to sell the product because it's just the easiest thing to do, right? Oh, we've got this, and so we need to market it to our social media. Instead, I want to challenge you to flip the script and actually we're going to focus on the problem. So this would be a good one if you're taking notes, I want you to sit down and take some time and think about all the problems that we have in our health. And this shouldn't be hard, right? We run across a lot of problems, but more specifically, if you think back to when you started doTERRA, what were some of the pain points that you were suffering from? Not just, oh my gosh, my gut was a wreck, or hey, I had headaches, or my hormones were crazy out of whack. I want you to dig even deeper. April, I think of you and the cost solution with like the whole, hey, I have literally tried everything and it got to a point where it was so expensive and I couldn't stay consistent. Um, or you think of like other companies that you have gone with before. A pain point might be, okay, well, I was dumping money into this, but I actually never felt any different. Um, so think about all those things. And I want you to think also like in the business front of things. Are there any pain points if you've ever done with a direct sales company in the past that you've been with? Or maybe the flip side of things, have you ever been sold to? How does that make you feel? Right? Most people don't want to be sold to. If you're doing marketing correctly, you don't like the person that's receiving the marketing doesn't even really feel like they're getting marketed to. They see a problem that they relate to. Typically, a post might look like a question at the very top that kind of pulls them in. We call this the hook. So if you're looking at the ideal social media post, it's kind of a recipe of three things. So one is the hook, and it might be like, are you also dealing with perimenopause? Question mark. Right. And then the body of it is you are going to get vulnerable. You are going to get real. You are a human being, and the more real you become to other people, they trust your authenticity. So it might be totally not doTERRA related. And I challenge you to post more than just about health and wellness and doTERRA. The third aspect of that is always a call to action. So a call to action could look like, if you're interested, I'd love to have a conversation, DM me. It can be if you want to, that's invoking a conversation, which is always great, right? Another call to action would be to increase engagement. So even outside of a doTERRA post, if you will, a problem and solution, it might look like a fun poll, like in the RV space, as I see you on here, April Hawthorne. It'd be, hey, where are you guys headed this summer? Are you going east or west? And you got to know who your audience is when they're like, looking at your post, like who follows you? What's your main demographic, right? April Olivis, I see you were with obviously a previous company that we were both with. Who could that be? Like, who are you talking to? Are you talking to middle-aged women that have probably been in a direct sales company before? What are their pain points? Right? So a poll for that audience, it could really be anything, honestly. You think of yourself and the things that you care most deeply about, like it could be motherhood, right? Any of you have teenagers, or you can make a teenage post of all the pain points about a teenager and then just literally let them like have stage to talk about the obvious, right? Like please tell me I'm not alone here. You know, it can literally, and that's an engagement type of post. Literally has nothing to do with doTERRA, but maybe you start finding that so-and-so comments, oh my gosh, thank God April posted this. I'm not alone. My teenager is literally an emotional hot mess of a wreck. Like, right? Okay, here's what happens behind the scenes. She just outed herself and she actually has a health problem, and you're not the one that actually posted anything about it, right? And so I think about, what is it? Who was it? One of your daughters? She was crying, right? When I was there, and I was like, oh my gosh,
It's
it's so
Amelia.
relatable. Oh, yeah. It's so relatable to a mom, right? And so do we have some things in our back pocket that could help with emotions? Heck yeah. What did I bring out there? A peace roller, right? And so we just put it in the palm of our hand. Simple little things, but we're not going to say that. We're not going to comment. We're going to actually comment behind. I just sent you a message. And what I like to do is I like to be real. So I voice message. Hey, Molly, I just saw that you commented and your daughter is totally an emotional hot wreck. Oh, Donna's coming in. And I just want to know,
Is it done? Yes. Okay, I have to go for a second.
oh no, you're good. You're good. And so, hey, Donna.
Hey. Hey,
Um,
Donna.
we were talking about curiosity marketing and all this stuff. So I'm recording it. Yes, I am recording it. Thank God. So anyway, that might look like voice messaging them and saying, oh my gosh, I just saw your comment on my feed. And one thing that's really helped my daughter from the emotional ups and downs is, and then you can fill in the blank with that, whatever that is, or you can say, I would love to share with you some things that have been actually really helpful to me. Are you open to it? And so that, instead of just giving the product where the conversation stops and they feel like they're going to be sold to, I would dare tell you, do the opposite and say, are you open to jumping on a call? I have some simple solutions I'd love to share with you. If they're open, they're going to say yes. And regardless, if they're closed, it doesn't matter if you shared that you were going to give them a peace roller or whatever, or, like they're either open or they're closed. So asking is asking for permission. Okay. So we went over what a social media post would look like and having a variety of different types of content. Like Donna just popped on and I think, oh my gosh, Donna went hiking in the Grand Canyon. We want to add value to our audience too. So aside from any sort of doTERRA post, it might look like Donna's having the best time of her life in the middle of the freaking Grand Canyon, and she's taking care of her health as she takes a selfie with a beautiful red rocks behind her and her hiking backpack, and making it all about staying hydrated, right? And she could do a question at the very end that would relate to hydration. P.S. Did you know that 75% of the population is dehydrated and that you need to actually hydrate your body so much more? So bare minimum is half your body weight in ounces. And then you could do a fun poll or whatever at the very end, sparking engagement, right? Where you're like, oh yes, I'm totally dehydrated, blah, 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 right? And so if it is a question that they respond with something that's like more like, give me more, right? So Donna would be able to say, hey, I'm going to message you. Hey, so-and-so, I noticed you said that you tend to be dehydrated and thirsty all the time. I just want to share with you what I've been doing, and I absolutely love it. I used to use this one brand, but I found it had a lot of sugar in it. Would you be open to me sharing more information with you about what I've been taking that has no sugar, 4 different types of magnesium, blah, blah, blah. See how that different? They're like, yes, please tell me more. How do I get what you have? That sounds amazing, right? They first saw you as an exercise expert because you're freaking hiking the Grand Canyon, Donna. And number 2, you're adding value to your audience. And 3, you're leaving room for curiosity. And that is the single most important thing, because at the end of the day, right? Social media and social media is meant to have relationships, but even more importantly, it's called network marketing for a reason, right? So if we want to go about it where we're literally drawing people to us, it should be done with the goal to have a conversation, period. Right. And so, 3 things, I'll just wrap that up: a social selling type of post, building curiosity. Number 1, a hook. Number 2, um, the body, right? Where we're addressing the problem, we're offering value, but we're also being really authentic and vulnerable and real and sharing maybe a solution that's kind of worked for us. And then 3, ending it on a call to action with a little bit of curiosity. Okay, let's see here. The other thing I wanted to share with you is like, learn to be a natural sharer of everything good. Okay, so I've seen it happen a lot, like in the industry, because I've been in the industry for 15 years. Naturally, when somebody starts direct sales, but they've never really been taught how to go about it, um, they tend to go all or nothing type of thing. So like on the social media, it might be like all about that one product or product line that they would speak to. So selfies with like a particular product, or just marketing the product in of itself. What we want to do is, we kind of want, you're a multifaceted person, right? You're a whole person, and one sliver of what you do is, yes, you share doTERRA, but that's not all of what you do, right? So for me, I'm a mom of 3 girls, right? I'm a wife of an amazing man that is a rock star as far as hauling our RV around the country, and we live full time in it. And have I been in the direct sales industry for quite some time? Yes. I've built a social media following, right? So there's many different aspects of my life. And so when I want you to think about, like, are you a grandma? Are you an avid exerciser? Are you a particular like expert in a field? I could think of Dr. Amy on our team. She's obviously an expert in eyes. So you want to think about all the different things. You know, Amy sings. She's like 7th in the world. I don't even know, in like this particular course group. So like, think about your whole person. And when you think about a month worth of content, you don't have to post that often. So quality over quantity, I would say. But to rotate that overall piece, think about like 4 different aspects of your life. You know, like maybe you're a grandma, right? Or maybe you're a mom of a college kid, right? Like, think about who you are and how people view you through their lens, right? And then I want you to hit on those different types of things. So like, let's say you post 2 times a week. One should be about something totally not doTERRA related. Okay. It should be adding value, maybe something encouraging. Maybe that looks like an amazing quote, perspective in life, something that you have learned in all your 50 years of being on the planet, right? Something that people are like, wow, that was real. I needed to hear that today. Maybe it's a Bible verse. I don't know. Something that you learned in church on Sunday, right? Something that you recently learned that you were like, oh my gosh, I now at age whatever you are, just learned this for the first time. Maybe it's you went to your newest favorite restaurant and you got the most amazing appetizer that everyone needs to know about, and they need to know about this place. So going back to Dr. Amy's jumping in here. Hey, Amy. So I want you to think about your whole person and how you can show up to your social media audience, not just doTERRA world, right? So again, we're adding value, we're encouraging our audience, we're building curiosity, right, in what we're doing. We're trying to build engagement, so however that looks. And polling your audience is great because, again, they literally out themselves. So what could that look like? I'm thinking you could ask a question, you know, what are the top 2 health concerns you're currently dealing with at the moment? And then maybe a little vulnerability on your end would go a lot further as you ask that question. So you can say, I'll be honest, what I have been struggling with over the last year or however many years is fill in the blank. This created this type of pain point in my life, right? I'm just curious, what are some health concerns that your family is dealing with? And this right here is where they start spilling their thing. Maybe their husband has cancer. Maybe their daughter was just diagnosed with an autoimmune disorder. Maybe they're dealing with some crazy acid reflux. Maybe, well, did you see my vulnerable post recently? My daughter's got freaking lice. Well, I'm like, I could keep that to myself, but this is just too good. That is like, that's vulnerability, and people find you real, you know? That is what people desire. They really want authenticity. They want real. They want, we like think of like somebody that you respect and love, and they're like, man, I just got roaches in my house. No one wants to tell anyone that, right? But they're like, oh my gosh, I feel seen. Been there, done that, by the way. Anyway, be vulnerable when it counts. Okay. Um, Facebook, I'm going to tell you this, and I've told all of you this. Facebook wants your face, period. They don't want random pictures of something that has been used multiple times over and over again. It actually deprioritizes in the algorithm. That's a fact. So anytime that you can take a picture of yourself, you're going to have to kind of get outside your comfort zone and hand that camera to your spouse, to your kid, and think, how do I show up in the world? Do you go to the beach and read a book? We were talking about this the other day, right, April? Are you part of a book club? I think I'm like looking at all of you right now. Amy sings on stage. How could Amy show up in social media where she's taken a cute little selfie with her amazing little outfit that she wore on stage and sung in front of probably hundreds of people? But okay, so that when we go to a social media post, here's a free idea for Amy. She could say, have you ever been stage fright? Like that's something that's a question that's relatable to most. And then she can put in the paragraph how she overcame. Maybe she never had it, but I'm just go with me here. I am totally stage fright. I actually didn't want to do this, but I was like, do it scared, Ash. Like, sometimes my thing is imposter syndrome. And I think a lot of us show like we have imposter syndrome, right? Where like, I couldn't possibly add more value than I already have, right? Like, what could I possibly do? And I'm thinking, well, maybe that's the one thing that I'm so afraid of that's holding us back, right? And so I want you to think in that post that Amy might do is, have you ever been stage fright before? And people are going to be like, heck yeah, that's like my number one fear. And then Amy shows up how, oh my gosh, for me, I used to cry before getting on stage. That's vulnerable, right? And then she shares how she overcame it. Maybe it's actually an essential oil that has deeply helped her like boost her confidence as she does a certain thing. And she also shares that she prays before she gets on stage, right? Maybe it's I don't know, whatever it could be. I want you to think about all the different things, not just doTERRA related. Those are other types of posts where it's all kind of wrapped up in a bow, right? And then at the very end, like a call to action once again, right? So I'm going to give you multiple different styles of social media, but what I would challenge you to do is to use ChatGPT. It's a great tool. You can boss it around as much as you possibly can. In fact, I would highly recommend it. So if you tell it who to act like, so I want you to act like a social media influencer that specializes in curiosity marketing, right? You need to tell it what it needs to do. I need you to give me at least 20 ideas for social media posts that hit on a problem and then offer some sort of solution. You're going to tell it to give you a question in the beginning, right? You're going to tell ChatGPT exactly who you are. I'm a mom of 3 daughters. I travel the country full time in an RV. I definitely help people find natural solutions to the root causes. Um, you feed the beast, right? You feed it everything and it starts to actually learn you. As creepy as that sounds, but it's a great tool. Um, and so I need for you to build me ideas of 20 posts over the next 2 months. I want it to be some things that could lead to lead generation for doTERRA, but I also want to provide value amongst my audience with a poll or a question or a quote or something like that. And so it's going to build a whole social media thing for you. And then you can just glean what you want from it. Take and choose what you want. Um, I don't know if this is helping. Hopefully this is helping. I'm just like rambling on. So, okay, good.
Wait, I have a question. So ChatGPT is the app. I apparently have it.
Yep.
So is any portion of that free or is
Yeah.
that the
Yes. ChatGPT is free. I do pay extra because I think I went over the crazy limit because I was using it like all the time.
yeah.
But yes, it is free. Yeah.
Because when I ever make a post, it takes me forever because I'm an overthinker that you know
Oh,
this.
yeah.
Like
No.
I'm like, what do I say? What if I say something stupid? Is this even going to be interesting to anyone? Like, is
Okay.
anyone going to care?
So if you overthink it, here's what I would do. Make your post. I put it in notes sometimes. I'll
Hmm.
copy and paste the entire thing, and then I'll say, hey, can you please optimize
Right.
my post for
Optimize my post.
optimize my post for maximum engagement and lead generation that leads to a personal conversation and see what it does.
Okay, personal conversation. Can you please optimize my post for maximum engagement? Is that what you said?
Yep. And
Engagement that
lead generation.
and regeneration.
Lead generation.
Oh, lead generation. Lead generation. That
That
leads to a personal conversation.
yes, yes.
Okay,
And
thank you.
and you can like that prompt right there is gold. Highly recommend. That's really what we're going for. So we're not selling, you guys. We're actually we are sharers of great things. doTERRA happens to be one of them. It's so sad. Modera just closed its doors after 23 years, right? It's so sad. Those ladies literally talked up these. You want to become somebody that people trust, right? To go to. You never want to be boxed in. doTERRA is safe. Absolutely. I fully believe that. But overarching, like you never want to be wrapped up with only one brand. You, you're marketing yourself at the end of the day. You are marketing yourself. Why should people do business with you? Why should people join your team? If you think back to why did you join my team? Maybe there's a particular post that stood out to you. I know, Amy, you shared a particular post. April, you shared a particular post. And honestly, those ones, I probably wasn't even thinking twice about it, but yet here you are, right? So you could probably scroll back on my feed for like 2 days and eventually find it. But what was it about that? It made you probably feel some sort of way. I might have called out a white elephant in the room that maybe no one really, where it struck a nerve, right? And then you're like, ah, yes. We want to invoke emotion, right? We want to be, like I said, relatable. We are not actually going for perfect. No one likes perfect. And no one likes to be sold to, period. So forgive yourself of anything that you've done in the past. The new day, you're moving forward. But this is how And and if you feel like seen or like, whoo, this is thick. I am not calling out any one of you. This is across the board. I see it all over my feed, right? We just naturally go towards, here's the product I am selling. It's so cool. You want it, DM me. No, we're not doing that anymore. I love Donna. Donna, who's this? Is your son? Or
That's Aza, her daughter.
oh, daughter.
Yeah,
Okay, you're
she's
so
got a
close
ponytail.
up. Sorry.
She can't hear you because I have headphones in.
Oh my gosh, my alarm's going off. Sorry, honey. I just saw that you're at bangs.
You want to hear her?
Okay, so all
Hello.
hi. All that being said, we're gonna focus on, if we can, funneling people. So me and Amy actually just talked about this the other day, right? We'll make a post, right? Ultimately, we want a conversation. And if we find that that conversation, there's people that are on the field, okay, I would say it like this. People are either open 0% or 100% and somewhere in between, right? Our goal is we're trying to find those people that are like 70-ish% and we're going to close them. But guess what? We're we're not always going to find those people, and that's okay. But sometimes we can get people from 0 to 70% just by putting them in our our funnel in our group. And so I personally have a group that I created years ago with a previous company. I just changed the title to be Ashley's Natural Solutions. So this was like kind of a warm market for me. People already bought from me with the previous company, but they saw me as an expert in, detoxing my house of bad chemicals, right? Well, now I'm just detoxing their body of bad chemicals and we're putting nutrition back in. So it was really a great pivot. And so think about, do you have a group? Now we have our amazing community and you could, oh, Kimberly's come in. We have our amazing Facebook community and could you put people in there? Sure. But if it's somebody that's truly like you're trying to foster that lead, maybe just a little bit more, we need to think about that group. And if you don't have one, that's okay. You can start today and you're just simply there to teach and add value, right? So I posted something in mine the other day. I can't remember if it was about, I don't remember, but it was totally not even doTERRA related. I've posted about my red light, for crying out loud, in there before.
Ah, baby.
It can be, so they start to see, oh, they connect with you of, she shares everything natural that she does, right? Um, anything that might be helpful. And sometimes it is doTERRA, right? Do you see the difference between that and just marketing the product doTERRA only? It can, from an outsider's perspective, what it does is it sends signals that she's just selling. We want to send signals that we actually are just sharing what's good. And in the event that they need something, we are honest and trustworthy and somebody that we go to when they're looking for natural solutions. So yeah, any questions? I think I pretty much hit on everything that I wanted to, at least. I'm happy to do Q&A though.
Okay, I've got a question.
Yes.
So I'm working on drumming up like interest in the hormone class. So I posted something that Carrie posted.
Yeah.
So people are commenting like their number of problems that they have, Then I just get stuck like where to start on the message. Like, I just get stuck there. So I have like 5 people that have commented and then I need to go and then like
Can you give me an example of how they commented? Because I'll just,
well,
this is how my brain works, What do you always
yeah.
comment? One
Hold on,
stop.
let me find it. So the post was like a picture of all the problems people have with their hormones, and
Okay.
they're supposed to tally up their points and drop a number in the comments of like how many of the problems they have.
Okay.
So people are like 9, 8, 9, 5. I see a hormone specialist. It changed my life. 7. You're more than likely in perimenopause. I mean, someone's diagnosing me. And then someone only has 2. So, I
Okay.
mean, I know these people, some of these
This is what I
ladies
would
are,
do
yeah.
in that event. Okay. So naturally, what do we want to do? We naturally want to message them and say, hey, I'm having a hormone class.
Yes, that's
Oh,
like the easiest, quickest thing, but
no.
I know I'm not supposed to do that.
Right. Okay. So what I would do is always ask more questions. Hey, I'm gonna message you. I like voice messaging, right? Hey, Donna, I saw that you commented on my thing that you have 9 things for the point tally. Thanks. First of all, thanks for commenting. I am so curious. If you don't mind me asking, what are you dealing with in particular? Let them come back. They love to talk about themselves. Hey, yeah, absolutely. I'm dealing with a lot of headaches, blah, 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 right? Okay, well, and this is where you can say, hey, well, if it's of value to you, I wanted to let you know that there's actually a hormone class coming up. It's totally free. It's taught by a functional medicine doctor, and it's on April 21st at 7 p.m. Central Time. Would you like the link to it? Do you see how that's different? So you're asking permission, right? You're offering a solution, but you have dialogue back and forth, and that's really important. Is that helpful?
Yes, and I'm glad we were recording this because that was one of your perfect little scenarios that I always miss. So I'm glad we're recording. So
Oh,
that's
good.
very helpful because I am an overthinker and I'm like, oh great, someone messaged me. Now I got to message them. What do I say? You know what I mean? So
Yep.
and I'm just like, okay, of course, try not to be attached to the outcomes. You know me, like literally, if they buy doTERRA, they buy doTERRA. If they do not buy doTERRA, they do
Yes.
not buy doTERRA. Like, I
Yes.
woke up this morning and I felt like God was telling me, like, "Why are you trying to be in charge of everything? Like, why are you like, you're not in charge?" Because I've been like so stressed out over the like dumbest things.
Oh,
But things like this, it's just out of my comfort zone because I'm like so used to just, well, actually, previous company, I never really posted anything. I would only post in my VIP group where it felt super safe. You know what I mean? So I'm out in the real world, like not wanting people to think I'm salesy, basically. But then that is a self focus. I'm
let's
not
talk about that.
on their need. So,
So if you feel salesy, you might be showing up as salesy. So that's why I wanted to do this call, right? You, again, you go back to the whole person, right? The best place to show up when it's like face to face is stories. And so think about, you could literally type into ChatGPT, hey, April, I know you're going to Hawaii soon. Can you
mhm.
give me 10 different story ideas where I can show up naturally in this beautiful environment for my audience? Now, out of the 10 stories you may do, selfie, maybe 2 of them is offering like, hey, oh my gosh, my kid got a cut and I absolutely so thankful for this. It actually heals up a cut. You don't even have to say what it is. I'm so thankful for this. It's literally like top 5 essential oils and it heals things super fast. Before, after picture, right? So there's ways that it's building curiosity, right? But it's natural. So while you're in Hawaii, you're sharing about, oh my gosh, you must get this shave ice. It is absolutely the best on the entire island. Here's where you get it, right? And hey, save this in your Google Maps for when you're here. Hey, we did Road to Hana. Make sure that you download the Gypsy Guide. You're getting Hawaii tips for free, April. It's not even called Gypsy Guide anymore, so I failed, but it's called something else. Anyway, that's besides the point. So think about all of the value that you can bring while you're there, right? Which one's the best hike or the best beach? You're showing up, but hey, sometimes when you're on the hike, maybe there's bugs and you need actually like the Terra Shield spray, and it's not even have you ever seen where they're like, it's almost like forced where they put the product in the story? Where it's like, oh, that was so pre-planned. Let's try not to do that, right?
Mhm.
Or just you're talking, you're not even thinking about what you're using, but you're talking directly to your people about whatever, and you're just spritzing it on. You're rubbing it in. Oh my gosh, the bugs are absolutely horrendous here. Here's a tip: make sure that you don't put these types of chemicals on your skin. It's really, really, really bad for you, right? You're not offering to tell them what the product is that you just put on your legs, right? You're just using it, but you are giving them value of what not to do. You see the difference?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Oops. Yes.
Yeah, because I would say, I mean, I used a ton of sunscreen because I went from 100 degrees to 20 degrees. And
Yep.
so, and that sunscreen does not get in your eyes.
Mhm.
I am not burnt. I also was like, I looked like a man because I had a hat on a neck cover, long sleeves, green pants.
Yeah.
I am sunophobic. So
Yeah.
that's definitely a post I can do too. Like I'm
Totally.
completely sunophobic and I
Yeah.
hate it because it puts sunscreen in and it gets in my eyes. This is
Yep.
the first time I've used this product. Not in my eyes. My friend was using it. We were completely happy.
So that's what you talk about.
Yeah.
Like, so how you can show up is like, have you ever been worried about all the chemicals in sunscreens? Yeah, like me too. But you know what? Here's the pain point of like natural sunscreens. I'm going to be honest with you. I usually hate them.
Yeah.
And so you say this one I absolutely love because it rubs in, it doesn't leave my skin white and chalky. Have you ever experienced that? Anyway, message me if you want more information about my sunscreen that I love so much.
Yeah.
And so
Perfect.
you're not selling it. You're just sharing a solution to a problem that everybody experiences, right? Nobody wants the zinky skin.
Yeah.
So
See, I'm still white.
I
I'm a
love
little
it.
tan.
Yeah. You also have that before and after picture that I took in California when your face was all like burnt to this, and we did frankincense and
Yes.
lavender. We need to,
You should see too. Aza had a huge bulge on the back of her ear from her
yeah,
earring, like a swelling.
yeah,
And within 3 or 4 hours after putting On Guard on it, On Guard and frankincense,
yeah,
totally small. And I'd be informed. I will get on social media, I promise.
yeah. Well, like even if you show up, whatever it is, once a week, it's something versus nothing. And I schedule it in my calendar. you know so I
Hmm.
put in my calendar, I'm posting on Peoples and Places today, or hey, Ashley, you're posting on your main page today. So also get used to, like leaders on the call. Recognition is also huge. So once a month, I typically, after the month rolls over, okay, who can I shout out? Who can I boost up and make them shine? Like, then that on the business front shows everyone, hey, we're doing great. We're winning right over here. Hey, look over here. Like, you should probably do this too. So get used to that too. Who on your team is shining? Who's enrolling? Who's, doing really well in any area? There's multiple different ways to show up and encourage. So, um, what else? Any other questions? These are great though.
Okay, I have another question. So you're scheduling on your calendar what you're posting. Is that just pretty much consistent every week you're posting? Can you just tell me what your schedule is like for doTERRA?
Yeah, for doTERRA, honestly, because I post so much on Peoples and Places, I try to post at least once a week on my main page. On the weekends, I will batch work a lot of content that I schedule out in my Facebook group. So I try to schedule 2 to 3 posts. VMG? Yes, please. Rob's gonna serve me my VMG. So I tried to schedule out those posts and think about like, okay, coming up next week is the hormone class. So when you keep that in mind, right, you might want to have it all centered around that theme. So could it be a certain poll, or maybe it's an education? And in the Facebook group, I think it's totally okay to be, yes, more product centered sometimes. So it's educational, right? Because those are warm leads. They opted in for your group, your knowledge, versus your public social media. You treat them a little different, right? We're taking people from a funnel of like, okay, this is Ashley Peoples, and Ashley Peoples is a whole person, to we ask them a question, they're actually interested in natural solutions. Can I put you in my Facebook group? Then they say yes, and I put them in my natural solutions group. They're already there. They've opted in. They want to know a little bit more, right? So that's okay. And then it's not blasted all over your main page. We funnel, right? And from there, you're going to get a lot of DMs, most likely, when you're sharing more consistently in there. So I actually post more in my Facebook group than I do on my main page. People start to see you as like an expert in a certain field after so long, right? And so they naturally come to you and say, hey, so I know that you're doing really well at doTERRA. Do you have anything for fill in the blank? And then I just say, hey, what are you dealing with? Tell me more. You know, would you be open to getting on a call? I'd love to do a consult with you. And do it with full blown confidence, ladies. Truly, from the bottom of my heart, you know, don't be wishy washy where you're like, well, if you know you'd be open to it, I can maybe blah. No, you're confident. Hey, and this, you're also, that's your time, and time is your most like precious asset sometimes, right? And so you're actually offering your free time. That's really a lot of value to people. Two, you're willing to meet with them. I get oftentimes, well, what will it cost to do that consult? Actually, for you, no, totally free. Wait, really? You'd meet with me for free? Absolutely, I will. I would love to share some things with you, right? So if you paint the value, and then, you know, the Calendly, I think a lot of people just equate that like, oh my gosh, wow, like a whole appointment for free, you know? So Calendly has been great. So I just say, hey, I know you're a very busy person, and I'm also a really busy person. I do have time in the next 2 days. If you want to pick a time on my calendar, can I send you over my Calendly and you can just pick a time and book it? And then they say, sure, yes, I would love that. Send me over your calendar. Great. And then I send my calendar. There's an expectation that they book that, right? So I'm not like chasing people. I ask permission first. Okay, any other? These are all great questions. Nope. All right. Well, thanks for taking your lunch hour with me. Hopefully you learned a few things. I recorded it, so if you guys want to send it to your teams afterwards, I'll put it up for you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
problem.
This was a fun listen.
Awesome.
Let me hear her
Well,
voice.
Thursday night, we're having a foundational wellness class, 8 p.m. Eastern time. If anybody wants to come and read slides, just reach out to me. And then next week is our 2 hormone classes. So yeah, just be thinking. And also when people reach out to you, here's the one last tip. When people reach out to you, but they're not quite at that 70% close, keep them on a running list. That's your list. You keep coming back to them. So when there is a class opportunity, right, that fits, keep inviting. Keep inviting. You never know. Fortune is in the follow-up all day long. Just keep showing up, unattached to the outcome, love people, serve them, meet them where they're at, offer value. And guess what? Along the way, you're going to build trust. And sometimes these relationships, like I'm literally talking to a lady that I talked to 1 whole year ago, and she finally just enrolled, and she's upper level leadership in our previous company. And who knows, maybe, just maybe, she might consider the business. But it's been a year long of fostering a relationship and building trust and respect with not making her feel pushy. Like she doesn't feel I'm pushy at all. I'm just there to show up and love on her and offer her value. And so wherever that goes, great. If it turns into a business, wonderful. If not, that's okay. I still have a customer at the end of the day, right? That perspective, people feel that energy off of you. So I think it's really important to really believe it in your heart that you're there to love and show up wherever it serves them, because it comes back full circle. I promise you, you will do much further in the long run when you show up and you love and love and love deeply, and you're there
you got
painting.
15 minutes to drink that. Don't let it go to waste.
I'm like, I gotta pop out my Invisalign retainers to drink my VMG. All right, well, I guess I will talk to you all later. I'm gonna stop the recording